CeeDee. You can't go in there with that much money sitting on the table and even just sort of jog around.
Nobody goes and plays. I don't even think Ayuk is going to practice. He's there because he doesn't want to get fined or whatever the case is.
Because it's supposed to be, it's $100,000 a day by the CBA rules, and you're supposed to not be able to get it back when you sign your new deal. So again,
it's a little bit at the team's discretion, though.
Sure.
They can decide not to levy the fine. So if a guy's in a contract negotiation, right, like Ayuk, if he's in a contract negotiation, and if they are close, obviously there can be a little give on the team side. But the Cowboys don't seem to be interested in giving any of that. I guess, I mean, Key, when you're out there on the field and you've got a key guy who just isn't there, how much does that affect everyone? If the Cowboys have to take the field this season without CeeDee Lamb, I don't
believe they'll take the field without CeeDee.
But I mean, that's my point. There's no hope there, right? They can't do it.
No, they can't. He's the #1 offensive weapon outside the quarterback.
So what are they doing? What game do they think they're playing?
It takes two to tango. So I don't know if Jerry is putting the right amount of money on the table. Because look, when you're negotiating with these NFL deals, there's when am I getting the money? How fast am I getting the money? How much of the money am I getting? How long is the contract? What incentives are in there? Where's the language? Where's the forfeiture language at that, you know, is in this contract? Are we taking it out? Are we leaving it in? All of those sort of things. And they could have been in negotiations, 2 months ago, and that contract could still be the same, and they haven't moved the needle.
It doesn't matter. Whatever he wants at this stage, you have to give him. And that is So this just kind of reminds me, if you're in a poker game, right, and someone's got the winning hand and the other guy has a good hand but not the winning hand, you can sit there and put your chips in for as long as you want. You can sit there for rounds and rounds and rounds of it. The guy with the winning hand is still going to win. CeeDee Lamb is the guy with the winning hand.
I mean, unless you bluff the guy with the winning hand out of the pot, but there's no bluff here. I don't. All the advantages.
Everyone's cards are on the table here.
Yeah. You could only bluff him if he was in his 3rd year and he was asking for a new deal. You can't bluff him at the end of the deal.
You can't.
You know, it just. I don't know what they do, and man, to be honest with you, I have no idea. I have zero idea.
All right, this is all I can guess. Think about what Jerry went through first with Dak. He dragged his feet, and it went on and on and on to the 11th hour, and finally, Jerry caved in and gave Dak his money, which was really good money at the time. In fact, it was big. It was top line money. And then they did a press conference together, and Jerry looked down the table at him, and basically, I'll just paraphrase it, but he just said, you got me. You got me. And it wasn't said lovingly to me, because I've never felt much closeness between Jerry and Dak the way I felt between Jerry and Zeke, Jerry and other players like Michael in the past. Dak's always kind of stiff-armed Jerry and kind of kept him at arm's length, which is fine. I respect that. But the point was, then Jerry has to turn right around in the Zeke negotiation. We talk about the Cabo, and so he goes and holds out in Cabo and misses camp. And then Jerry caves in. They just broke in camp, I believe. They were coming back to Dallas. And back comes Zeke from Cabo and becomes the highest paid running back and immediately hits the running back wall and is never quite the same. You say, well, look at these numbers. They weren't what he was. He was the dominant running back in the game for 3 years. And then from that point forward, it's just slowly dwindled.
But a month in Cabo is not going to change his career.
Okay, I'm not saying it was just Cabo, but it was just so ironic that I know Jerry's looking back at it saying, well, I caved in there and I caved in there and it bit me and it bit me. Maybe I shouldn't cave in, but there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
There's no if you take that attitude, there is no exit strategy.
No,
but like Rachel said a little while ago, even if he took a little bit less, and I'm talking $500,000, $1 million less than what Justin Jefferson, who's the top paid guaranteed money guy right now, he just took a little bit less. That's still more than what you would have paid him if you'd have done the deal 6 months ago or whatever the case is. Still more. So he still, in his minds, would be overpaying. Now that you've gotten to the point of July, heading into August, you're getting ready to overpay. Because as soon as what happens in these situations is they're going to get out on the field, and Dak Prescott's going to start throwing balls, and they're going to be watching the film, and they're going to say to themselves, damn, if we had CeeDee in that position, that's all they're going to do. And then they're going to pick up the phone. This is what happens.
Okay.
They did the same thing with Emmitt Smith. They lost those 2 games with them running backs. They said, we ain't going nowhere, man. We got to pay Emmitt. What the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
And I thought Emmitt took a little less money, but go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you don't have to wait that long. You don't have to wait till you're 2 games without him. Everyone knows what's going to happen if you take the field without CeeDee Lamb.
All Emmitt did was come in and, from that point on, become the league MVP for the year and then the Super Bowl MVP. So that worked, right? Okay. What do I keep telling you about CeeDee? The way I view my football team is I got one baller on my football team I really trust and believe in and count on, and that's 88. And he is living up to that big number on his back. And it's a big target on his back.
The start of the season, he was okay.
Yeah.
And then they started moving him around, putting him in different spots, different positions. And he proved that he could play multiple spots.
Remember, after San Francisco and Dak threw 3 picks, he complained publicly, and all of a sudden, life changed.
Yeah, because they started using him a certain way.
Okay. So what was the flashpoint moment of being down 27-0 in the first half to Green Bay in the playoff game? It was Dak versus CeeDee. And I'm like, what are they doing? Remember, they came off the field on the first 3rd down of the game. It was 3rd and 5-ish. Right. Remember? And they're just not on the same page. And Dak said something to CeeDee, which CeeDee did not like. And Michael said, you know, that's on. He was blaming CeeDee. He said, you just got to take it from the quarterback.
Michael's position is you never say anything to the quarterback. My position is blank the quarterback. Because if I drop the ball, guess what? They're going to blame me. So I'm not like Michael when it comes to, I don't give a damn. I'm not like Michael when it comes to quarterbacks. I understand they're sensitive.
Okay, but remember who Michael had as his quarterback.
I get all that.
He had a Hall of Famer, and so it's just like, don't mess with him. Just because he knows he's going to get the sugar from
but Michael had a Hall of Famer, unlike a whole bunch of other receivers that didn't have Hall of Famers. So in the end, you want to, you want to get football. CeeDee Lamb wanted to contribute to help the team win the damn game.
So CeeDee barks back, and then CeeDee was so angered by Dak's response back to him, he went and sat on the end of the bench to the point that Mike McCarthy thought he had to leave his post, bump on the log post that he has on the sideline, and march all the way to the end of the bench to try to talk him up out of it. Yeah. Remember this?
Yeah, I do.
So my point to you is I need those two getting on the same page. And as trite as it sounds, as cliched as it sounds, I needed CeeDee and Dak for opening day of training camp to start to rebuild and to grow together. And to the problem at San Francisco when they lost 42-10 is they were not on the same page.
Yeah, I don't know why they won't get him in camp.
Okay, so you need your baller in camp to start rebuilding chemistry with the quarterback. And wait, you're just willingly saying no, just stay home, just stay home. For how long? I don't know. I hope you're right that 2 weeks from now, he's there. I hope you're right, but it doesn't smell like that to me because it's not Jerry's way. Jerry's way would just leave him home through training camp.
The difference with him and other players that have held out, the world, the press, the fan base is pushing for him to be signed.
Yeah.
Opposed to, I don't want to pay a running back this type of money. I don't know. I don't want to do this with Michael Parsons. Nobody is screaming Michael Parsons is supposed to be paid. They're saying he should be able to wait. Nobody's screaming for Dak Prescott to be paid.
They're not
But
screaming.
a lot of people are jumping up and down for CeeDee to be paid. That pressure will eventually come to bear as they go take the field, whenever days are, and Dak's throwing the ball to other people that it don't look so good, they'll revisit the opportunity to go pay CeeDee.
In fact, that's a great point. Go ahead.
How could you need that? How do you not know, after everything you've watched this man do, that 2 weeks onto the field in training camp, it'll look like someone's missing? You shouldn't need any of this. I mean,
I don't know what to tell you, Rachel.
Like you, a 10-year-old young Cowboy fan knows this.
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
And so how do they not know?
I also know Jerry really well, and he can be stubborn to a fault. And to your point, there's no dissent out there about CeeDee. Like, nobody is saying, I haven't heard one pundit or critic say, how can you pay a receiver? He hasn't proven. No, nobody's saying that.
They're not going to do that.
As I said, there's a 10-year-old in Dallas somewhere today.
That is correct.
Who knows this? How does the Cowboys brass not know?
And so the point is, Jerry is hearing nothing but sign him, sign him, sign him. And you know how Jerry gets? Nah, I'm Jerry Jones. I'm not going to bow to public pressure, right?
He'll sign.